Good evening. If you know someone who owns a black Toyota Ute that's missing a side mirror, police are desperate for your help. The driver is accused of committing a callous hit-run in Wollert that's left a father seriously injured in hospital.
A family's late-night ride takes a sinister turn. An 18-year-old girl and her dog escaping the full brunt of this shocking collision. Her father wasn't so lucky. The speeding driver made no attempt to stop, leaving his injured victim in the gutter.
To all of a sudden just be hit and have an impact and then thrown to the ground and then sustain the injuries that he's sustained while he's just out and about doing his personal thing, it's really disturbing. The
46-year-old father was taken to hospital. Police collecting the black Toyota's Ute side mirror, which was ripped off on impact.
It actually happened right around my corner, and then I saw the footage of it as well. Yeah, that was just absolutely numbing.
The cyclist was struck riding in the designated bike lane just before 1 a.m. on Yan Drive in Wollert. The stretch of road has a speed limit of 60 k's.
People do speed a lot, especially at night time. So you're always on the lookout.
And so too are police for the runaway driver.
You clearly know you've got damage to your vehicle, you know you've been involved in a collision.
Leaving the scene of a crash without rendering assistance carries a significant penalty. If the driver is charged and found guilty, they could face up to 10 years behind bars.
Did not even bother to stop. That is the basic humanity.
Geordie Wright, 7 News.
Now to breaking news coming in from Melbourne's southeast, and emergency crews are on the scene of a serious crash. It's understood a car and a scooter collided on the corner of Balcombe and Sharman Roads around 4:15. The situation is still unfolding as we go to air. Initial reports say one person has serious injuries. A crowd of Victorian teachers has gathered outside the Education Minister's office as they rally for a better pay deal. Live to Blake Johnson in Niddrie, and Blake, they're demanding Ben Carroll come back to the negotiating table.
And quickly, Pete, this is a splinter group of teachers within the union who have convinced the wider teacher base that the most recent pay deal was no good. There is now a distinct fracture between education union leadership and its everyday members, some of whom are here tonight outside Ben Carroll's electorate office in Niddrie. Their message for him is clear. They want better pay and better conditions, not just for teachers, but also educational support staff. That's people who work in schools who don't necessarily work in the classroom. These teachers also have a message for parents who have to keep their kids home next Thursday during an official teacher strike.
Hey, Ben Carroll! I want to know where the funding's at.
Our message to parents is that we are fighting for you too. Your kids are going to public schools that are not being given the resources that they need.
Whispers today that a last-minute pay deal might have been tabled by the government seem to have evaporated. They are now very much back at that negotiating table tonight. Pete?
Blake Johnson in Niddrie, thank you. The state's top cop has sensationally taken down an accused criminal in the heart of the city. Mike Bush was heading to work when he saw two of his officers trying to taser a man armed with a knife. The Chief Commissioner jumped out of his car and pinned the accused offender down. That 32-year-old has since been taken to hospital. The Commissioner didn't want to comment on his involvement today. Australia's notorious Balenciaga bikie has been given a stern dressing down in court for attacking a security guard outside a Collins Street restaurant. The magistrate accused him of being too sensitive after he lashed out because he thought the bouncer was making fun of him.
In a designer shirt, the so-called Balenciaga bikie received a stern warning from the magistrate. continue to be violent and go back to jail. The 47-year-old, a former Comancheros enforcer, shoved a security guard outside CBD night spot the George on Collins in August last year. The victim fell to the ground. He went to hospital but left without receiving treatment. Zahed's lawyer told the court his client thought the guard was making fun of his eye and reacted. The notorious bikie lost his eye during an assassination attempt at a Sydney gym, which killed his brother in 2022. Zahed spent time in jail for hindering a 2014 murder investigation and was on parole at the time of the assault. He was arrested and sent back to jail for 6 months. The magistrate told him at his age he should think mighty hard about being that sensitive. Deal with your anger issues, otherwise you will be dealing with them in jail. Zahed pleaded guilty to the assault. He was convicted and has to pay a fine of $750. Around the same price of a basic Balenciaga t-shirt. Melina Saris, 7 News.
Ram raiders are on the run after torching a furniture store in Tullamarine around 4 o'clock this morning. The offenders crashed a car through the front window before setting it alight. Neighbouring businesses were untouched.
I looked at my wife and I was just like, no, not us. You know, I was like, not us. We never stepped on no one's toes. We never done nothing wrong, you know. But for it to affect us like this.
No one was inside at the time. Victoria's bus network will get a major upgrade this weekend, with passengers finally able to tap on using phones and credit cards. But commuters are being warned it's not available for everyone.
New tech in more than 2,500 buses means you can ride them without a Myki card.
Making it easier to get around our great city and our great state.
Starting Sunday, full fare bus commuters can instead pay with a phone, Apple Watch, Visa or MasterCard. But it will take a week to progressively be added across all routes.
If you are a concession card holder, or indeed if you are the holder of a youth Myki card, you will still need your physical Myki card.
And phone payments will still work even if there's another Telstra meltdown.
The bus stores the information on the device, and when it regains connectivity, it uploads that data.
It's recently been rolled out on the tram and train networks, travellers dumping their Myki cards after 14 years.
We're about 13% at the moment. We see that growing probably up to the 20% mark.
And for the Liberal Party, its MP Moira Deeming has decided to tap off her legal action against them, abandoning her injunction that was trying to stop the state executive from voting on whether to disendorse her. That's over her report to police alleging an assault by fellow Liberal MP Matthew Guy, which police didn't pursue. In a statement, Mrs Deeming said she's given the executive her statement and a mediation proposal and insisted she's progressed this issue in good faith. For weeks, Liberal leader Jess Wilson has refused to comment.
This is a matter before the courts. It's a matter before the courts.
It was the same excuse today.
It is a matter before the courts.
Hours later, confirmation it has been formally discontinued. Jess Wilson clearly siding with Matthew Guy.
I speak to Matthew regularly. I haven't spoken to Moira in some weeks.
How many weeks?
Some weeks.
Why not?
Because this is a matter before the courts.
They're a shambles, they are a chaotic mess.
Paul Dowsley, 7 News.